Okay then, I think we're about ready to start this. Oh, where am I? Where am I? Where's my camera? Oh, this is the wrong fucking screen. No, that's not it either. Can you tell I'm a professional? There we go. There we go. That's better. Okay. I think we're about ready to start this little shindig. Right. Hello, my co-hides. Hope you're all doing well. I'm your host, Taran Senpai. Welcome to another Prehistoric Kingdom Dev Diary reading. So, we didn't get anything for December, but that's okay. They said that we're going to be going on a break. And last month, I think we got like our update with the Vivariums and stuff like that. Really cool stuff. And also, I got back into speed builds, so that's also cool. So keep your eyes out for that. Yes, we're here to check out the newest Dev Diary. So let's go ahead and check it out. That was cringe. Why would I do that? Okay. Welcome to the January Development Diary. The team's hopes you've all had a safe and happy holiday. As this is our first blog post of the year, we'll primarily be taking... Hold on. We'll probably... Blah, blah, blah. English, me, yes. Let's take it from the top. The team hopes that you've all had a safe and happy holiday. As this is our first blog post of the year, we'll primarily be talking about our plans to outline what you'll see in 2026. There is a lot of reading to do this time, folks, so strap yourself in. Okay, here we go. And of course, here we have, like, you know, a teaser image of things to come, which is basically like an Acrocanthosaurus covered in scars. A professional streamer. Boys, girls, and squirrels. Okay. First off, thank you for your warm reception to Update 16. We're pleased to see how beloved the Vivarium animals have become. They're a fun way to fill out the roster, and we have more on the way for full release. In the meantime, our animators have been adding a few more animations to the current Vivarium lineup. So we got a little animation here of a Diectodon here. And it's like kind of going around in circles. Very curious looking. I like this animation, like of it just looking around in circles. It's really cute. It really plays into, like, you know, the nature of the Diectodon, which is very kind of gopher-like, I guess. Gopher or prairie dog, which I quite like. Looks really good. I can't wait to see it. Oh, and we got one for the Simosuchus as well. Right, let's see that from the top. So it like looks around. It does a nip, and then another nip. Well, I guess they kind of try to make it like crocodilian, and with this being, like, you know, an herbivore, it's kind of hard to convey that. But it's still like a crocodile at the end of the day, so I like that it's still giving like croc energy by like these little bites here. Really nice touch. I quite like that. Just ram, ram. Very nicely done. Ram. It gives these animals a lot more personality. This includes more movement locomotions for the Titanoboa, as well as eventually making it compatible with the amphibious Vivariums. We'll show you more on that in the future. Oh God, please! I would love to see this, because that was the one thing I was like kind of hoping for, like the aquatic Titanoboa, because, you know, they are water snakes. But the prairie dog analogy works too. Looks like a puppy chasing its tail. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this works out, because right now the Titanoboa only slithers on land, so I'm quite curious to see how it's going to work in here. But either way, I'm excited. Oh, crap. Didn't mean to do that. Swamp Puppy. Yep. Speaking of updates, our final two major releases coming this year are Update 17 and Update 18. By the end of 2026, all of our major gameplay mechanics will be finished. As we've explained in the past, these These are massive updates and will each take a number of months to complete. At this stage, we expect to release Update 17 around June, if things go smoothly, so about 6 months from now. Anyway, here's some actual more news here. Full release 1.20 launch. Looking ahead, Prehistoric Kingdom will leave early access next year in 2027, launching with even more animals and some unannounced gameplay aspects. Hello, Jurassic Geographic. Welcome to the stream. So the game will be fully launched next year, which is really exciting stuff. As we continue the journey to full release, there are a number of things that will be improved, added, or polished once 1.20 drops. Two of these aspects will be controller support, for all those of you out there, and improved UI scaling, providing a more optimal experience for those playing on the couch, Steam Deck, or who sit further away from the monitor. This is still very much a mouse and keyboard game at heart, but having more ways to play is always great. The team has also started preliminary work on the scenarios that will be coming at launch. We can't promise how many there will be on day one just yet, but we could talk about the planned experience. Oh yes, story campaign. Here we go. This is my bread and butter right here. The story campaign will provide players with a guided onboarding experience as they work to learn the game's mechanics and resolve different parts in need with the help of Nigel and different characters. Okay, so we're getting other characters. I wonder who. Can we get Bob, like from Prehistoric Park? Bob and Suzanne. That would be awesome. We don't expect the story itself to be super long, but each level will be designed to let you keep playing and complete additional tasks in order to achieve its gold light rank. Alright, missions. For more experienced players, missions are self-contained scenarios that see the player completing objectives under different restrictions or settings. No terraforming, selective dig sites, can't delete existing buildings. Oh, yeah, okay. One mission may ask you to build a successful park within a tiny area, while another may see you rescuing a failing zoo from bankruptcy, breeding certain species, and improving its infrastructure. Like the story, each mission will have an optional gold rank objective for park managers who want to go all the way. Stay tuned for more information on scenarios and their rewards closer to launch. Man, I can't wait for that. Okay, Update 17, the first public test branch. Some details below may change from now. Okay, while combat is undoubtedly the most exciting thing coming in Update 17, we also want to improve the game's core management experience. So, in the next 2 months, a public test branch with no combat will be going live with the following adjustments to challenge mode. Excuse me. Nose. Alright, we got a loading bay rework. The loading bay is a crucial facility in Prehistoric Kingdom, but the player never really interacts with it. Our issues with the current system can be boiled down to a lack of responsibility. The current loading bay is entirely passive, infinitely bringing in resources to figure out what the player needs on its own. Unless you delete all the loading bays, there is no failure point. A lack of input. Due to its automated nature, sometimes the player can be at odds with its decision making. I want more medicine, but the game keeps importing plants, for example. So let's start fresh. In Update 17, the player will begin with a basic supply of plants, meat, merch, and meals, enough to get things running. But beyond that initial shipment, the loading bay will be your responsibility to manage. Okay. Easy enough. Let me grab it. How will it work? Selecting the loading bay will reveal an order sheet where the player can buy a different resource at a time. Next to each resource, the player can choose how much they need in increments, but be careful, your order is limited by the 4 slots shown at the top of the menu. If you pick 3 increments of meals, you only have 1 slot left for something else. Ooh, okay. I am hyped for combat, honestly, waiting for war crimes. Not gonna lie, this game is looking more fun the more I read about it. Right, so this is like the UI here. We got... Okay, so this is how it works. So we got 3 meals, and then the rest is for other stuff. Okay. Nice. Okay. Once the player's happy, they'll need to press the place order button and wait at least 1 month for the delivery to arrive. Shit, okay. If the player knows they'll need a lot of specific resources, they can choose to repeat a shipment up to 12 times before placing their order. This can be useful for planning ahead, burning cash, or simply letting the loading bay operate by itself for a couple months. It won't last forever, though, so be mindful. Okay, so we got some more art here showing one order arriving, the incoming amount, which is just 900 kilograms of meals. And look at how many pieces are in this modular group. What the fuck? Right. Later in the game, players can increase their limited delivery capacity by researching additional trucks going from a measly 4 slot all the way up to a whopping 12. Combine that with a repeat shipments, and woo, that's a lot of stuff. Okay, so we can actually increase the capacity, which is good. So we can do all this stuff. That's awesome. So to summarize, the loading bay will be manually set, can't infinitely bring in shipments, can ship more resources at once through researching additional trucks. Logistics management view. Okay, here we go. To help players figure out what they need from the loading bay, we'll be adding a new logistics tab to the management view. This screen will show how many resources you have park-wide, pointing out what's in storage and versus what's needed. So plants, looking good. Fruit, looking good. Almost out of meat, almost out of fish. Completely fine on insects. Completely fine on meals. Merch could be better. No compost, no medicine, no munitions. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things that need to be brought into this park. The second screen shows a quarterly usage breakdown, highlighting exactly which modules generate or consume the most resources. Clicking on their icons will take you directly to their location. Okay. So this just shows how much is used. I like this vegetable garden, by the way, with all this stuff. That looks nice. Guests need rework. Again, yes, they do. So far, guest-related gameplay has never felt particularly clear and rewarding for 3 main reasons. Super delayed feedback. Guests are individually simulated, which means that to resolve hunger, guests need to physically buy food and eat it before being satisfied. Since the gameplay values are more directly based on the simulation, it could take a long time to improve the state of your park. No visual guidance. Due to being based on the simulation, using management views such as a sea of green, yellow, or red guests randomly scattered around. While it highlights exactly what each individual guest is feeling, the player can't make an actionable decision for this. No impact. In order to make the guests' needs less overwhelming, we had to skew that what the game considered a happy or unhappy guest. After years of reduction, guests' needs mostly hover around 90 to 100% and aren't meaningfully part of the game, even if the player neglects them. So how do we do things better? Starting in Update 17, the guest gameplay is no longer completely dependent on the simulation. Instead, we only consider guests who have decided, I am hungry or I need to find a bathroom, and make them measure how accessible nearby modules are. If a guest is somewhat close to or within the satisfaction range of a functional kiosk or toilet, their needs are counted as met. However, if a hungry guest is too far away, they'll begin to detract from your guest needs and create a negative area. Using the management view, you can see exactly where you should consider building more modules for guests. Try adding restaurants and shopping centers if you need to cover a large area. Eee. If that's the area I need, my speed build park could probably do with some work. Oh, geez. Do keep in mind, though, even if you add a kiosk, it will need to be stocked and staffed before nearby guests can be happy. The heat map also updates in real time, so some negative guests may resolve their issues as they move closer to facilities. Well, that's good to know, at least. Welfare percentages and kiosk range are not final. That's good news, at least. Right, staff break rooms. Once staff finish their shifts in Update 17, they'll begin looking for a new module, the break room. Ooh, I like the module, but we'll get to that. Players will want to build these facilities so that staff can have a place to rest. Don't make them too sporadic, though, since staff cannot start their break until finding an available break room. If it takes too long to find one, staff might get upset, and if they get too frustrated, they'll quit. Break rooms can only fit so many staff at one time, so be sure to build strategically as the park grows. Okay. I really like the look of this. Like, we got like lockers here with some shelving. We got a bin. We got like a table here with some coffee. We got couches. And then there's like a microwave. There's like a cabinet, sinks, a coffee machine, another bin. Oh, that looks wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Absolutely love this little detail here. All right, staff progression 2.0. With this overhaul, we aim to make staff progression more clear and engaging, moving away from the macro style management currently found in the game. From a top-down view, we'll be condensing the amount of skill levels and putting more control into the hands of the player. New hires will begin at level 1, an entry-level position with the cheapest salary and access to a single perk. Staff will now need to be individually trained up to level 2 and 3, increasing their salary in exchange for additional perks. To help with this process, training is no longer locked behind research and can instead be scheduled from the get-go. This allows players to plan ahead, set some staff members the goal of achieving level 3, and wait for them to train up in the background. Once staff have finished training, their promotion cannot be undone. You'll need to think about how many you're promoting and consider their increased costs. If you start to struggle, the only way to reduce monthly wages is to fire people and lose their contribution. Ugh. As you can see below, we'll be making a bunch of UI adjustments and accommodate these changes. This includes new buttons for setting the skill level, work zone, and a panel for editing multiple staff members at once. Yeah, because that's the thing I had, like, that I couldn't, like, give them, like, you know, more skill or something like that. That was, like, the one thing that kind of bugged me. Veterinary perks. As a reward for keeping someone employed in the long term, staff will eventually begin to unlock veterancy perks. These are special buffs that only become available once staff has spent enough time at their current level. These perks are unlocked consecutively, so if a newbie gets promoted to level 3, they'll still need to achieve Veterancy 1 before they can move on to Veterancy 2 and 3. Look at this happy little guy. John Smith. Basic perks: cleaner, 100% waste collection per trip, and confident. Oh no! Negative 50% chance of being attacked. So you're telling me that the keepers in the park can be attacked by the dinosaurs? What the fuck? Oh no. Okay. Staff work zones. Yes, after many requests, we're finally adding work zones. As the name implies, these areas are a way to manage staff assignments and limit where they can wander during downtime. If you played a modular built city builder, you'll be pretty familiar with how these work. Simply open the management view, visit work zones, and choose how you like to paint them. You can use the brush to create freeform shapes or opt for rectangular mode if you want something more structured. Okay, so you just paint the spot, I guess. That's easy enough to understand. Oh, and there's like a video demonstrating it. Look at that. That's quite handy, actually. Nice. Yeah, it's kind of funny, but I'm like, oh god. What if someone does get eaten? Do we have to, like, pay for their insurance? Oh, and there's the rectangular mode. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. I very much like this. This is going to make managing a park so much easier. While staff will prioritize using a break room, storage, or loading bay that's inside their work zone, they'll still venture out to pick up resources or rest if they can't find any. This will allow players to create zones for specific habitats or shops without worrying about access to their existing supplies. Very nice. Once you've made and selected your work zone, you can automatically assign staff by entering a target number for each role. As long as someone hasn't been manually assigned to another work zone, the game will try to auto-distribute staff where possible. Similarly, unassigned free roaming staff will be able to provide a helping hand and accept jobs that are within work zones. If you'd prefer total exclusively, however, this behavior can be toggled off. Ooh, yay, look at that. That's handy. Mm-mm. There's a bit more to talk about, but we'll save those details for a future dev diary. We hope you're looking forward to seeing more about the work zones. Alright, now here's the stuff everyone's been wanting to hear about. Combat preparation. As expected, the biggest task for Update 17 is animal combat. While we are busy preparing to start proper prototyping, it's too early to show anything substantial given our holiday break. As mentioned, this will also not be part of the initial Update 17 public test branch. For today's diary, what I want to show off are visual wounds and scarring shader. Much like diseases, animals that have experienced combat will show varying levels of damage. As these wounds heal, they'll eventually turn to scars. Their position and rotation are random, so each animal will be unique in that regard. Yes! So the scars won't just be like set on a dinosaur, they'll actually be random. The damage on an animal won't correspond to where they've actually been hit, damn it. But that's okay. But considering that we're not a fighting game, we think that's a fine compromise. Showing that an animal injured at all is more important. Warning, if you're a bit squeamish or don't like seeing injured animals, these images may not be for you. We're considering an option that'll let players turn off wounds, so if that sounds nice, please let us know. Zookeeper job when I was younger, one of the things they listed as a benefit, besides some serious health care, they also offer life insurance and D&D compensation. Okay. Alright, so the first image we have here is a heavily scarred Tyrannosaurus. We got some injuries right here in the snout, under the eye, behind the eye, on the neck. It's looking quite gruesome. He's looking a little worse for wear, to say the least. And we also got one of a rhino. We can see like some scarring along the face especially, but also some on the leg and on the side. So he can commit war crimes in the game now. By the way, D&D compensation doesn't mean Dungeons and Dragons. I figured as much. Okay. Here's the shader in action showing how animals can have varying levels of damage. We plan to be pretty conservative with its usage so that common scraps don't result in massive wounds. With more development, we'd also like to have faint blood patches around the animal, but we are happy with the effect overall. Max wounds used for eaten corpses. Okay, so it gradually builds up. Look at that. Oh, God. Yeah, geez, okay. Oh, and that's when they turn to scars. That's clever. Yeah, this is what it would look like normally. And it's at this point where it's actually a corpse. And this is what it looks like when the wounds are turned to scars. That's really nice. For mammals and fluffy dinosaurs, deep wounds and scarring is especially noticeable as their fuzz will appear balded. Oh no! Oh, that's sad. No! It's missing feathers. The poor Leonosaura. And the rhino too. Frit. A fun detail we're aiming to include, though not quite sure if it will be implemented for Update 17, is bloody mouths for predators. Yes! Fucking yes! Yes, yes, yes. This is awesome. I love blood masks on like dinosaurs. That's so cool. Those look pretty tame compared to injuries of animals in real life. Yeah. This effect will fade in and linger while carnivores are eating or participating in combat. As far as we know, something like this hasn't been seen in zoo sims before, so it's exciting to bring it to Prehistoric Kingdom. But yeah, I love the blood mask. Look at that. Oh my god. I loved it when like it was in Path of Titans for like the PT mods. I kind of hope they bring it back, but damn, look at it. It looks so good. Fuck. That looks awesome. Why so serious? We hope to be able to discuss our plans for various behaviors soon, start showing more of combat itself in the coming months. All right, update 18. Looking at to the second half of the year, we have our final early access update. The major additions for this release will include new staff types, engineers and security, breakouts, human death, and the wetland map. There will also be 3 new wetland species, one of which we'd like for you to meet right now. Okay, we got a new dinosaur reveal. Here we go. If you think about it, they kind of want to keep this game PG-13-ish. All right, new species. Oh, yeah. Britain's very own Spinosaurus is finally re-emerging from the depths. This heavy-clawed theropod is, of course, none other than Baryonyx, a carnivorous dinosaur with an appetite for fish. Oh, let's get a gander at this big boy. Look at it. Oh my god, it looks gorgeous. Like the color of the skin, the scale texture looks very like lizard or crocodilian. The little spikes on the back. Oh my god, look at it. The thumb claw actually looks big. The little red head crest. Oh my god. Oh, I'm in love. Look at that. That is a gorgeous Baryonyx. Yes, so decided to look up the actual real life of injuries animals. Do not do that. The worst mistake I've ever done. Right, but look at it. It looks gorgeous. Look at that. Of course, it'd probably be a bit more helpful. You could actually see the full dinosaur. There you go. But look at that. That looks wonderful. And then side by side with a human. Love it. God, this is an amazing looking Baryonyx. For each skin for Baryonyx will lean into an alternate integument, providing those who prefer a spiky, classic, or more speculative look. Okay, so we'll actually, get, if you don't like this Baryonyx, you can get one that doesn't have spikes. But I wonder what the speculative look will be. I hope it. How much are you willing to bet they're going to have like a feathered Baryonyx? That'd be funny. Although a bit weird. Kind of reminds me of Jurassic World website Baryonyx a little bit. A little bit, yeah. Then we got the Community Spotlight, which is a video from Jurassic World Evolution screenshots. We have another one here with a Spinosaurus family by Flyaway. And a baby why with the thumbs down? It's a cute little baby. Look at it. We finally an accurate Baryonyx in paleo media since Dinosaur Britain. Created by Arendt. Thank you for reading January's dev diary. It's going to be a huge year for Prehistoric Kingdom, but as always, we're up to the challenge. Once again, thank you for your continued support, and if you'd like to see more frequent updates throughout 2026, consider joining our Patreon for sneak peeks and behind-the-scenes info. We will see you again next month for our February dev diary. Okay, and that's it, folks. Let me know what you guys are excited about, with all these new dev diary reveals. Honestly, the look of combat and the blood masks is really cool, but also the reveal of the Baryonyx. I absolutely love this Baryonyx. I can't wait to have these in my park. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, I think that is where we are going to end it. I just imagine a Baryonyx with a tadpole tail for some reason. For no reason, I just thought of that. Maybe. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to end it for now. Thank you all for tuning in to the stream. If you enjoyed it and looking forward to seeing more Prehistoric Kingdom coverage and speed builds, because I'm back at doing that, leave a like, subscribe today, hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything new. All my links are in the link tree in the description down below. And until next time, this is Tyrannosaurus signing off. Alrighty then. Take care now. Bye-bye then.